Hey guys,
How you doing today?
Hey.
doing pretty good. Oh, somebody shaved all of the caterpillar off of his upper lip.
Not me.
What I used to tell my foster kid when he started trying to grow in a mustache. I'm like, there's a dead caterpillar on your upper lip.
Yeah, it gets a little low and it starts to get on my lip. I have to buzz it off. And then I start doing a little bit, and then all of a sudden I'm buzzing the whole beard off.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys stand it. It makes me it.
Takes a little bit to go past that phase.
Yeah,
Help.
I can skip a day. Occasionally, I can skip 2 days, but after that, I'm like, get this crap on my face.
I got to switch my internets. I forgot last time. Yeah, the thing that helps when you're growing your beard out. If it's itchy, just take some sandpaper and kind of lightly go over your stuff, right? Just to make the ends of the hairs not quite as pokey.
Yeah, no. I had an ex who was constantly just like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days growth worth and never more than that. And I always had to say it was sideburn waiting to happen.
Where's my Wi-Fi at? There it is. Connect, motherfucker. There we go.
So do we have anybody else joining in today that we know of?
I don't know. I didn't invite nobody.
I did invite somebody. It's a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether or not he'll show up or not.
Uh-huh.
But I at least passed him on the information.
Cool. Appreciate that. Da, da, da.
So what's the date that you guys are going to start trying to quit cigarettes?
Man, I don't know.
Hey,
I like them too much.
I quit 15 times a day. every time I put one out.
Yeah, I'm done forever.
Oh wait, there's another 2 packs in my drawer. I guess I need to finish them off. They're too expensive to throw away.
Yeah, that's right. You can't be wasteful.
Oh yeah, I'm holding 2 packs myself. I don't know when I'm going to quit. I really want to, but I don't know when it's going to happen. I'll go ahead and put this one out. I'll get one last puff and tell myself I got all the satisfaction I need out of this little piece of tobacco.
Yeah, I just like it.
I do.
I started smoking when I was like 14.
Uh-huh.
And like really ramped it up when I got my first job, and my boss would buy me cigarettes. You know, was 15 years old, and he'd buy me cigarettes to work an extra shift since I couldn't buy them myself.
Yep. So boss will do whatever it takes
to get a 15-year-old to work 2.5 shifts. Yes, 2.5. They wouldn't let me work a full 3, but they'd let me work 2.5.
Man, I don't miss the corruption of the workforce.
Oh, good Lord. I was working for Six Flags at that point. It was my
you like the guy that was
first
telling
job.
Everybody...
Yeah, and yeah, $4.25 an hour.
Yeah. My first one was $5.15.
Don't remember what my first one was. I think it was something around there.
Did you start at 16 years old?
I started at 15, right before I turned 16.
Yeah, I got a car when I was 16, And then I figured out real quick that I wasn't going to have any money for gas. So I got a job. My parents had that trick in mind, I think.
No, mine let me get a job, and that's where I said I wanted to work. And it was probably a good 30-minute drive from Grapevine to Arlington. Would you say that's about right, John?
Grapevine to Arlington,
Texas?
30 minutes, depending on
Yeah,
the
about 30.
hour.
Well, back then traffic wasn't so bad going down 157.
Oh, okay.
But my parents drove me for the first 2 weeks, and then I turned 16, and they're like, "Okay, here's your car. Drive yourself."
Uh-huh.
What
me
a
less
place
than a
to learn how to drive.
Do what?
I can't imagine learning how to drive in DFW and having that freedom to be able to go all around as far as you can afford to.
It really wasn't that bad. But traffic was not that bad back then, because that was 1991.
I would like to have seen that. I've only known it to be crazy.
It's every time I go back down there, it's worse.
Wait a minute, I'm a little confused on how I got my setup. Let me make sure.
It looks like it's okay.
Well, I'm trying to make sure that I'm recording what I need to record.
It's showing me that it's recording.
We can play it back on Zoom and get it off Zoom if we need to.
Okay. Because I got 2 monitors set up, so I got us over on the left side, and it's capturing that screen.
It's whatever shows up on Streamlabs. So you want to put Streamlabs on your alternate monitor, and then you'll have
it's got that little yellow frame around it. Over on the left screen. So I got the Zoom over there. Okay. But it doesn't have that help with addiction part above it like it does over here.
If I turn off my video, it will. Is that what you mean?
No, that little banner that we have at the top, HelpWithAddictionCoaching@gmail.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the main video anyway. All right, you guys about ready to do this?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm the topic's a little bit more difficult for me this week, but I'm going to do my best.
Gotcha. All right, you ready, John?
I'm ready. I'm ready to kick it off. So today's topic is sober personal leadership.
1 second. It's going. Going.
Kick the stream off.
Shoot, I got to change the title.
Sober personal leadership, or leadership.
All right. Okay. It's turning everything on now. Sorry for the delay.
No worries. I'm pretty casual around here.
All right, it's going.
All right. Hey, what's up, YouTube, Facebook?
Hey, everybody.
We've got James and Scott joining me. I'm John. Today's topic, we're talking about sobriety and personal leadership, leading yourself through your life, through the obstacles you face. Good times and bad, you got to lead yourself. So we're just casually chatting. My first note is that you are the only person that can take responsibility for your control over addiction. Scott can't do it for me. James can't do it for me. Your mama can't do it for you. You got to do it.
Right. Pretty much any activity or any development that you want to make in life, you're always at the center of that. And where you branch out from there is kind of how you lead yourself.
Well, personal leadership from a business perspective, it is defined as applying your principles to all parts of your life, whether that's your interactions with yourself, your interactions with your family, or your interactions with your coworkers or employees.
Right. And
Go ahead.
you make an attempt to guide yourself so that you inhibit further risk as well as cultivating future growth, right?
Correct. And this particular topic, applying kind of a business view on it to your personal life means sort of viewing your addiction as something next to you that you have to apply your goals to.
Okay. So almost like a tangible object in your mind.
Correct.
And that could be each problem that you define, each obstacle you're trying to overcome, each good thing that you're trying to encourage in your life. So as you're going through each day, it's important to make these attempts, make these assessments of your current situation and the improvements that you would like to make, the changes that you would like to have in your life. And so this is your current self making an effort to affect your future self. And so small changes now have that butterfly effect in the future. You can't just up and say, I'm going to be a rock star tomorrow. You have to say, I'm going to learn a couple chords on the guitar today, and then eventually, you'll know a few songs, and then you'll be playing for people, and then years down the road you might be a rock star. So it's kind of a look at almost every goal that you have in this manner, to break it down so that there is that small piece that is actually something you can accomplish. So I got a few over here, a few examples of that. Just it's like some basic stuff would be like, you do one push-up today, so tomorrow maybe you can do 2 push-ups. If fitness is one of your goals, it's okay to start small, and just remember that these small changes that you're making now are going to have their effect in the future, and they will propagate and grow in the future. One that I have for myself is like, eat the stuff that's in my fridge and pantry before it goes bad, so that one, I don't go out to eat instead of eating that stuff, and then I don't have to spend the money to replace those rotten groceries, nor spend the money on that expensive takeout. It's a small step just to eat one's food that you have in your house, and then tomorrow it's already had a greater effect in that I saved money. I didn't let food go bad.
Less trip to the grocery store.
Right.
And I love that you're saving money that way. That's brilliant. I have kind of a takeout tendency sometimes, and now that I've curbed that a little bit, I have more money in my pocket. It's a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think there's a certain satisfaction in kind of preparing all your meals too. You go through that whole process, and that process itself, you're practicing something that's very important. You might not be a very good cook today, but if you continue to try to cook for yourself down the road, you're going to be a maestro in the kitchen.
Speak for yourself.
There might be caps for certain people in certain areas.
I was about to say, I was a great cook when I was starting at 13. So, but then again, I learned from the best. I got good cooks in the family. So
yeah, not. I mean, my mom can cook a little bit. Mom, I'm sorry. No, what she has her few staples that she makes, and she makes them well. And I guess that's kind of the way I am for how I'm cooking now. It's like, I can cook you a steak real nice.
Me too.
Yeah.
I cook the same meal like 20 times a month.
Yeah, you do that salmon, right? You make a wonderful salmon. So a small step that we could all take in that is looking up a recipe and
Looking up a recipe.
yeah, and attempting to branch away.
Oh, speaking of
for that.
recipes, can I tell Scott? So Scott, my girlfriend and I are using our groceries app, and we're setting up our recipes on there. So we can just
Yeah.
whenever we want to have that meal, we tap that recipe button and it adds all those ingredients to our grocery list. And I used it the other day when I was using the Walmart app, and I checked everything off. It felt great.
Good. I'm glad that helped.
Fantastic.
Excellent. My dad also heard about it through watching our YouTube video, and he's using it too now. So there's little.
Okay, so shout out to our groceries. I'm now a social media influencer. If you want to, sponsor me, I'm all for it.
I'm attempting to make that leap myself. Right now, currently, everything is going into my daily planner, and sort of a note in personal leadership. A good leader, whether you're leading yourself or other people, you know what the necessary task is, what has to be done, what has to be accomplished. And having a journal or a daily planner is very important for that. I mean, I'm just gonna pull mine up so y'all can see, but like, you see all those boxes with checks in it, right? The green stuff is my groceries, the red stuff's all my appointments. Like, there's no way I could remember all that crap if I didn't have it down somewhere. So I can clearly define what task I have today and how I'm going to accomplish that. And it starts with that small step of just jotting it down, not just forgetting that you had an appointment altogether until sometimes they text you the day before, and then that helps, but that's not always the case. You can take a proactive approach to steering your life. I mean, if you're going fishing on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, you can put that in there, and then every day you're looking at it, you're looking forward to it, you're getting excited about it. If you're starting to go to a gym, you can put your goals down there, what sets and reps and so on, your daily schedule for it, until it becomes something that is just permanently in your day.
There is something more powerful about putting it down onto paper with pen and paper versus digital. Writing down, like, today I'm gonna smoke only 10 cigarettes, and writing that type of thing down is empowering. Yeah, I can imagine writing down, I'm going to do 25 push-ups today, and tomorrow my goal is going to be 30. Versus typing that into a text message to someone or to some type of document in your phone. These daily goals, I like a daily planner for that. I'm in a transitional period right now between digital and paper.
Yeah,
I don't know which way I'm going, really.
Same here. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, everybody's going to be a little bit different on that. There's obviously a little bit more effort that you have to put into writing things down and keeping up with the paper and checking things off or crossing them out. And for some people, that level of, I'm going to call that management, works very well for them. For some people, depending on how comfortable they are with technology, it might be easier to have something electronic, because you're always going to have your electronic device with you.
Yeah.
And you can mark it off there. I think the key there is being able to have something where you can put it down and then go back to double check it and be able to mark it off.
Yeah. I'm also in that transitional period that John was mentioning today, because you're right. You have your phone in your pocket everywhere you go, and I don't always want to bring my journal with me everywhere I go, and sometimes I forget at the grocery store, and then I'm just wandering around, not remember what I'm supposed to get. I got a new phone coming, and I'm going to make that effort to have all my calendar appointments in my phone, and then if I can get groceries alongside that, that'd be another goal of mine: appointments and groceries, or shopping in general.
Are you going to say paper? That's going to be more paper for journaling and note taking.
Just all of the journaling, dude.
In your phone. Your appointments in your phone? More journal.
What am I going to put in my journal?
Today I sat.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So can you guys think of any small steps that can have big impacts on your day, certain goals that you may have?
So I'm doing better about taking my medicine, and that is one thing that kicks my day off much better than not taking my medicine.
Yeah.
I feel more grounded, and it goes better with the caffeine that I have in the morning. Um, I'm fighting for my sobriety right now. I'm at a one day at a time, mentality, and I have to make my daily affirmation. I have to tell people, I have to talk to my mom, I have to tell you guys, like, I'm going to stay sober today, long after the meeting, and all the way to the point where I hit my pillow, and I've taken my night meds and I hit my pillow.
Yeah.
But taking my meds is something it just really helps me kick my day off right now. And that's a new thing for me, like, as the past 2 weeks, and comes from influence from you guys, the conversation about building a routine.
Yep. I'm up to 22 pills a day.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's for physical and mental and vitamins and whatnot. And yeah, it does have an enormous effect and impact on my daily what's the word?
Routine.
Yeah, I feel, my daily routine as well.
So, well, I do want to say, just looking back at, my career, and I became manager at a very, very early age. And it was years before somebody taught me the difference between management and leadership. And when you're trying to stay sober, there's a little bit of both. Management is what you do day in and day out, and leadership is to treat yourself and others while going through those steps. And being understanding, if you slip and fall, make a mistake, it's okay. You can't beat yourself up on it. That's managers beat people up for making mistakes. Leaders understand, hey, you're going to screw up every once in a while. As you go through this process of making yourself a better person.
Exactly. Yeah, and another important kind of aspect of that is to not make these steps, this manipulation of yourself, to not try to take too giant of a leap that you set yourself up for failure. Do that thing that you can achieve. If you set up something too large and then you fail on it, you're going to have this negative feeling, this negative failure impact, all of that. Just try to make sure that what you're doing daily is your goals are actually reasonable and manageable, not overwhelming. You don't want to stress yourself out. You want to take those small steps and then not beat yourself up if you just happen to miss or slip up or anything like that. What are you doing for that very next thing? How are you making it through that next moment? Are you doing the next right thing? Or are you making a decision that's slowly leading you down a negative path? I think it's important as a leader of yourself to acknowledge those situations whenever you could be doing the dumb thing, whether it be drug related, addiction related, or social related, to think about that and avoid those situations. Try to redirect yourself, steer everything now so that you don't, say, create a social situation that is causing you stress for the next few weeks. Like, that's something that happened to me recently. It's like, I could have just kept my mouth shut and I would have had a lot more peaceful few weeks, but I didn't avoid that situation. I went into it.
I would say what you're talking about is kind of doing a debrief
Yeah.
with yourself after the fact and going, okay, what happened? What did I do that could have been better? And how do I change my behavior going forward? I have a woman that I absolutely loved to work with, and she wanted to be better at what she did. And I initially would interrupt her interactions with people to redirect the conversation, and it wasn't very effective. And so I learned to let her make her own mistakes and then sit down with her and go, how did that go?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Could you have done a little bit better? And just letting that person lead the conversation. And you can do that with yourself. You know, not overthinking things because you don't want to give yourself anxiety.
Right.
And we all have a tendency to do that. But just, you know, an honest reflection on, you know, hey, that didn't go as well as I thought it could. What should I have done instead?
Yeah. No, that it's definitely important to have that reflection afterwards. Use your hindsight, you know, take advantage of those learning opportunities as you find them.
Hey, we're all human and we're going to screw up. And I think once you accept that, then it makes improving yourself a whole lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. So some other things that I do, or that I've been trying to work on, it's a small step that can have a bigger impact later. Something as small as opening up my mail.
Good one.
I'm making sure that I'm doing that, and then obviously as soon as you open it up, you read it. It may be good, it may be bad, maybe a bill, it may be whatever, it may be spam. But just opening it up each day, you automatically start to throw away the stuff that is worthless, and then you start to pay the bills that you get. You're starting to stay ahead of all of this thing, rather than looking at a pile of mail that's, you know, 6 inches deep and just completely overwhelming. So small step, just to open my mail.
Yes, that's a good one.
There's also, in case anybody doesn't know, depending on the kind of mail you're getting, there are options that the U.S. Postal Service and the Federal Trade Commission have to reduce the amount of junk and credit card offers that you have out there. It's, you know, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, me opening my mailbox and finding it stuffed full and sorting through it and finding out that most of it's just junk, and me putting it into the recycle, it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
And some of the things you have to open because you're not sure what it is. And then you don't want to open the rest of it. So there are a few tools that you can use to reduce that. Signing up for electronic bills from the utilities or the credit providers that you have can also help reduce the stuff that you get. And then you get an alert on your phone. You don't have to walk out to the, you know, in 102-degree weather to the mailbox.
Right. Like I haven't received a T-Mobile bill via mail in years. And that's worked out pretty well for me. And as well as my electricity bills that way. You know, and as you become more able to control and handle all this stuff, you can start to get some things on auto pay. That's an eventual step for each of these, but maybe you know, get your phone bill on auto pay and then save that $20 a month. Will have its lasting impact.
One of the things that I like about the auto pay, at least with T-Mobile, because I have T-Mobile as well, is I get a notification from them, about a week, 10 days in advance, going, hey, your bill is going to come out of your account on such and such a date. And then I can make sure that I've got that much money in my checking account to cover it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea. So with my phone, you know, I'm switching to a new number, and I'm gonna make sure that only business that I absolutely need to attend to, like my VA veterans appointments, uh, the calls go to that. Whenever you guys call, you know, my friends call, it goes to that. And do what I can to make sure that every ring that happens on that is something that I actually need to answer and want to answer.
Right.
And then so like my phone right now is on silent, and you know, I get 40 spam calls a day. It's part of my fault because I've been poking the bear the whole time. But
Mm.
you know, I have my phone on silent, and I miss a lot of calls. If you guys called me now, I wouldn't even know. I'd find it later.
Mm.
So my small step for that was getting a new phone number, and then I'm going to slowly start to bring over everything that is important to it. And then with the mail, like you said, kind of the same thing. It's like we get all this spam mail. I would like if I could do whatever possible, whatever small step today, to make that spam mail stop coming, to make all the superfluous mail stop coming, so that every piece of mail that I reach into that box for is something that eventually is an important thing that I need to open, I need to read, I need to acknowledge, and then I don't have to filter through that. I really like what you were saying about signing up for that anti-spam program or something. What was it?
So, and then, so James, I'm seeing if I can find it really quick. The U.S. Postal Service has they have a service, you can find it on their website, where you can sign up, where it sends you an email whenever you have first class mail coming in, and it's a picture of what's in the envelope.
Okay.
Or of the envelope, because they scan everything.
Yeah.
And so I get a notification that comes in, and it's XYZ bill. And I'm like, okay, I need to go check my mail today.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
And so, I mean, I still have to check, I still have to empty the thing out at least once a week, but I know when there's something important in there versus when they're probably just dropping off junk.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find the name of that.
Yeah, I think I'll probably visit that site and see if I can set that up for a few of my my bills. I mean, my email is kind of another one of those areas that I need to do some work on. It's full of stuff that's not important at all.
So the USPS thing is called informed delivery.
Okay.
Only works for the Postal Service, but
yeah, that's a wide variety of what comes in my mail. What about that spam mail? Was you said there was something?
So there's opt-out pre-screen.
Opt-out pre-screen. All right.
That'll keep you from getting any bogus, well, not bogus, but any unwanted like credit card offers. I don't know about you, but
yeah,
I get those all the time, and it's like, I don't really want to throw that in the trash because it's got some of my information in it. I just don't want to get them at all. And then the one, there is also one for spam emails.
Okay.
I'll have to get back to you on that one, though. I don't have that one handy.
All right. Well, so I mean, this is a good example of how to lead yourself. It's like just now we're talking about this subject, and you know, I put a couple notes down in my daily planner with boxes next to it. So at some point here in the future, I've taken the small step that to set things into motion, and then maybe tomorrow I'll get on the Postal Service site and opt out and do all those kinds of things. But if I just let that idea disappear and dissipate and none of that happened, then I haven't made any of the steps necessary to make that eventual goal happen. So however you need to do it to keep track of what you're supposed to do is very important. I mean, I don't know how anyone would go without it, to be honest, now that I'm doing it. I mean, whenever I wasn't doing it before, I wasn't taking care of any of my business. I wasn't on my mail either.
So got 2 or 3 envelopes stuffed in a drawer somewhere in my kitchen.
Yeah.
I gotta open those. Yeah.
Right.
It's a great idea to open your mail every day. It sounds basic, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, guys, I'll admit, I've got tons of documents, you know, since I got divorced, about my finances. And should something happen to me, God forbid, it's all information that people would need to know to figure out, you know, hey, this is where my bank accounts are at, this is where my investments are at, this is where my life insurance is at, all that stuff. It's been in a cardboard box for 2 years, unorganized.
Yeah.
And every time I get something new, I take the envelope that I got in the mail and I just dump it in there, going, well, somebody will find it. So that is a task that I need to put before myself. That's something I've been avoiding doing.
Yeah. And it's overwhelming a little bit now, right?
I mean, it's only one cardboard box.
That's
but it's
all right.
Hundreds and hundreds of envelopes and folders and
yeah. I've got a box like that too. I don't have as many things in it though, but luckily I have that box, because if I didn't stick it in there, it would disappear like a fart in the wind.
As well, and that's why I have a box for it, is because I know I need to keep this. I just don't want to organize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you guys. You've given me a task that I now need to set myself a goal for.
Yeah, good deal. So another small thing that I've done a lot more lately is clean just a little bit. I find whenever I clean, I get started and just I don't say I got to clean this whole room or this whole kitchen or anything like that, or do all the dishes. I just say, all right, let's just get one dish. Let's do one dish, you know, and then more and more, I find that things are just cleaner in general. I'm adding that small little bit of effort, and it's cascading into a cleaner environment, and then that has its benefits for your morale, for your ease of being able to find your stuff. Not lose
for your health.
stuff. For your health, yeah. Yeah, in general, practicing something every day, you know, across the board, whether it be a hobby, or taking better care of your cleanliness, your hygiene, you know, it's all like a form of practice. The more things that we can fit in as far as practice each day, the more productive we'll be today, and exponentially will be more productive in the coming weeks. It's nice. It's easier for me to kind of think about things in form of practice. Whenever I clean a little bit, I'm practicing cleaning. If I have a bunch of plants and I'm taking care of them every day, I'm practicing nurturing something. My future self, the one that's affected by this practice, will be a better nurturer. You can take many things in your life and look at it that way. How are you going to affect change in your future self?
Well, James, you mentioned plants there. Are you growing flowers, or are you growing herbs, vegetables?
I got one plant. uh,
You're not a plant dad.
let me go get it. Be right back.
He is a plant dad. He's gonna go get his baby.
I was just thinking that.
I like that the practicing nurturing makes you a better nurturer in the future. Your future self is going to be a better nurturer.
I think that's as you're going through your recovery, I think you're nurturing yourself, and that's going to better help you nurture other people, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see the baby.
All right, here goes. It's my one and only plant.
Oh, he's so cute.
And it's good for me because it is impossible to kill this thing. I don't know what kind of plant it is, but whenever it's sunny out, the little bit right here turns into a flower. The little ends, it opens up for the sun, and when it's dark, it closes. It's like some crazy plant. And you can cut one of these little guys and just stick it in the dirt, and it grows. So, you know, it's good for me. I'm learning how to do plants. And that's my small step. That's been a small step for a while.
Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of advice. Do either one of you get garlic at the grocery store, like garlic bulbs?
I love garlic. I like garlic.
Okay. Have you ever noticed that occasionally they sprout a little green stem out the top?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can plant that and grow your own garlic, dude.
All right. I've got garlic in my fridge right now. I'm gonna put it on the counter and see if I can get some green sprouts.
If you get some sprouts, go ahead and sprout it. And then not only are you nurturing something, you're going to save yourself money by not having to buy the garlic, and you're going to have a plant to take care of.
Yeah. Wonder what, do you know what it looks like whenever it's growing?
I don't have a picture of it, but whenever it sprouts, you'll know there'll be a little out of the. It does not have to be the whole bulb. It'll come out of the individual cloves. There'll be a little green sprout that comes out of the top.
Yeah, I mean, does the garlic stay underground when it's growing, or is it hanging from a little tree?
It's an underground. You're going to have to put it in a pot.
Gotcha.
Garlic doesn't grow on trees.
No, I mean, like, does it hang the little garlic bulbs? Does it hang from a little bitty garlic bush?
We are not talking olives here, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try that. That's gonna be an experiment that I'll have here shortly.
You can also do that. I've done it before, and I've had a friend who actually has a full tree now. You can do that with avocado seeds.
Oh, yeah.
If you buy avocados, you're gonna have to look that one up on YouTube, because you sort of have to soak it in water for a bit until it sprouts. It's been years since I've done that, but yeah, you can grow your own avocado tree.
That's cool.
Yeah. We're getting hungry over here.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about saving money because you're growing your own stuff as well. You know, you save a lot of money and plan for the future whenever you hit the grocery store and actually buy stuff and meal plan ahead of time. You get your stuff to make pasta, you get your stuff for sandwiches, you get your stuff for breakfast, all that kind of stuff. And then there's not these emergencies where you're like, shoot, I'm hungry, I've got no food, now I've got to go spend a lot of money. So that's another kind of small step, even just hitting the grocery store, getting that food ready, right? Eventually we'll grow our stuff and then not need the grocery store, but I'm a long way from being that nurturing.
You'll never get completely to that point. If nothing else, I refuse, although I probably should, I refuse to have a cow for my milk.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yeah, I'm not doing that yet.
Yeah. I drink enough milk every week that I probably be cheaper to have a cow, but there's just a lot of work involved with that.
Yeah, speaking of drinking stuff, another thing you can do today that will affect you tomorrow is drinking water just make yourself drink 1 cup of water if you don't drink water regularly. Start with that 1 cup a day. You know, don't get overwhelmed because they say you got to drink like 37 cups of water a day or something like that. I don't, I need to look up what the real number is, but you know, have a moment where you make the effort to do that. And I think above all things, nutritionally, adding water into your system can help make all of these other things easier, life in general easier, your mental acuity better. Better.
So, well, I was horribly attached to soda pop
Oh yeah, me too.
when I was in high school and early college. Like when I was in high school, I was a trainer for the basketball team, and during our away games, I'd go through a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper by myself.
During a game?
Yep. Well, during the tournament.
Oh, all right. Yeah, several days.
That's no one-day tournament.
Holy moly. I did that when I was a kid. Mountain Dew, baby. Video games, Mountain Dew.
Yeah, mine was Dr. Pepper. And I got away from the sugar thing and the caffeine thing, except for coffee. But I've always hated water. And so I found club soda, so that I still get the fizzy thing.
Yeah.
And that has definitely helped me. It's like I still get the feeling in the mouth and down the throat.
Yep. That satisfaction, the gulp.
Yep. But I'm not getting any of the sugar or any of the caffeine anymore.
Yeah, I've as far as drinking soda goes, in my efforts to mitigate the amount, I just have it with my meals. So it'd be maximum of 3 sodas a day, but it's typically just lunch and dinner that I'll have a full flavor Sprite. I don't know. I could probably do like the 0 or whatever, but you know, it's got other stuff in it.
Well, I just had a conversation with my mother yesterday about that, because she's a diet Coca-Cola addict, and I'm like, I'm not sure that aspartame is really good for you.
Right. Yeah, so I just figured I'll do the all natural Sprite instead of anything else, and then I just have the 2 a day normally. I think that's a pretty healthy.
That's not bad. That's not
moderation. Yeah. I definitely need it with meals though. That carbonation, like you were talking about, it doesn't feel the same if I'm trying to drink something not bubbly. You guys think of any other small things that you can do today that affect your future self? Any other goals that you're working on?
Well, as I've told you guys before, and it goes back to the video that we produced on having a routine. You know, I'm trying to get out every day for at least a 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
And I've missed my goals on a few days, only getting out once a day. But today the temperature is much lower, and I've already done my first one for this morning, and I might actually be able to do one this afternoon and then do a third one in the evening, and I'll feel better because I've sort of made up for the things I've missed.
That's a good one, and that definitely pays itself forward in health benefits alone. Plus, I bet during those walks you're doing some meditative thought.
Yesterday's one of my friends is a DJ, and he was playing a set on Twitch, so I got to listen to my best friend do what he loves. while doing it. And then I also discovered that I've got a huge set of blackberry bushes in the neighborhood next to me. So this afternoon I'll be taking some Tupperware with and harvesting fresh blackberries for free.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Cool. I want to practice positive self-talk and be nice to myself and try and cut back on these cigarettes, cut down a half a pack a day. That set myself up for better finances, fewer trips to the gas station. And I think the more I considered, if I want a more sober lifestyle, reducing my stimulants, reducing the Red Bulls is the way to do it.
Yeah, gotta go 100% coffee, baby.
I haven't made any today. I had some.
I've saved like $1 million on that. That was one of the best small steps I ever made, buying a coffee pot.
You do realize, John, that, heading out on your bike is a stimulant.
Yes, it will be. I'm getting excited about buying a bike. I'm gonna get an e-bike.
Yeah.
It will replace. I'll be out there. I won't be thinking about the next cigarette. I'll just be flying around.
Yeah, I can't wait to ride with you.
It's gonna be fun. You'll be breaking the speed limit on the bike trail for sure. I saw that 15 mile. I saw that 15 mile per hour sign, and I'm like, man, I'm never looking at you again.
Dude, when I'm passing the speed limit on the roads, that's my happy place. like telling the cars in front of me, get out of my way.
I can't wait.
All right. Yeah. So another thing about leadership. We talked about identifying the activities that you could do to propagate a better future for yourself. It's also important to be able to identify the risk and hazards that you encounter each day, especially in regards to your sobriety. So a good point of personal leadership would be, say you're meeting your friends, or they're planning to meet at a bar. I mean, this is an obvious one, but you can lead yourself to not go to that situation, to not have all of those inherent risks that are going to potentially lead you to drinking again. You might have to miss the event. You might maybe suggest a different place, a place that's not centric on drinking. And also you as a sober person, you need to be finding sober friends as well. Make an effort to do that, so that way a lot of these events are naturally catered to you being sober. All of these are small steps that make tomorrow easier to be sober.
So James, one of the things that we do in project management is, obviously there's sort of an outline of the way the project's going to work. But there are multiple check-ins and a final one when the project is ended that discuss areas where there were problems or roadblocks. And those are notated throughout the project. So I think that sort of applies in this case. If you know where you're at and you know where you want to be, there's going to be hiccups along the way. And so you notate those things down. So for the next stage, you don't make the same mistakes. So going back to your example, with going with your friends to a bar, you might have been sober for weeks and you happen to meet your friends out at the bar and you slip up. So you notate that down.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Right. In a way, you're implementing controls to prevent the next situation like that. You acknowledge that event happened, examine what that situation is, and then you put in place a different reaction in the future, a different path in the future.
Well, like, for example, I know that if I'm going to be the designated driver heading out with friends, I make sure that I order a club soda with a twist of lime.
Yeah.
Because that sort of makes me feel like I'm drinking a scotch and soda with a lime, but I'm not actually.
Yeah.
And I know that I have to do that because I have to get people home safely.
Yeah, that's good. That's on the note of getting yourself the appropriate drink, to stay sober in general, for me to avoid drinking is having a plethora of drinks available. I've got Gatorades in the fridge, Sprites, I got ice cold water. I can make some teas, coffee. That way I always have something available that is the right thing to drink. Much like your thing with the spritz of lime. You've already planned that in advance, and you can almost look forward to having that beverage there. I think it'll be a while before I'll be a DD for anybody. I think in terms of my own leadership of myself, that's something that I'll probably avoid for some time to come. Maybe one day it'll be something that doesn't seem like as much of a risk as it is now. Although I feel very comfortable in my sobriety, it's like I probably shouldn't put myself in a situation where I'm watching a bunch of people giggle and acting obnoxious and whatever.
Actually, if you force yourself through it, you sort of look at it and you go, do I act like that when I'm in that condition? Ew.
Yeah. I was thinking that as well. A lot of times whenever I've recently, when I've been around people that were overly intoxicated, I think the same thing. I'm like, man, I'm so glad that I'm sober and not acting like that. And we all act kind of that way, even if we don't think that we're doing it. We get loud and think everything that we have to say is important and funny.
Most things when it comes to addiction, it's mostly about boosting your confidence and making yourself feel better about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, that's another thing that you can kind of guide yourself down, say for self-confidence, making the effort to dress nicer so that you appreciate your presence. I know we talked about that before, but something as simple as ordering a nice shirt so that you can wear it in the future is a good small step, presuming that you have the $20. Then you can almost look like I'm excited to wear a shirt that I have. It's straight from Amazon. It's on a hanger right now. Just give me an event. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look sharp. I'm gonna feel good. All that good stuff we need to do for ourselves. Every day, practicing that self-care, self-motivation. Important to devote time specifically for yourself if you're overly busy taking care of so many things like a lot of our life demands. Ensure that you take that small step to take care of yourself, to maintain your health, maintain your confidence, maintain your morale. John mentioned the positive self-talk a minute ago, but I mean that's something that I should do. I don't do that enough, but it's a very easy small thing to spend 1 minute being like, hey, you're doing great, or what, however. Same thing with meditation. I don't know why I can't find the 5 minutes. I mean, I've got spare 5 minutes is all over the day but I could sit there and be unplugged from everything and thinking mindful thoughts, hopeful thoughts, pleasant thoughts, and maybe get better at doing that in general, where I start to look forward to a half hour of meditation and then the benefits that are from doing that.
So I don't know if I mentioned this in one of our previous meetings, but as I said earlier, I've got a friend who's a DJ who's now broadcasting on Twitch, and I love the way he does things. And that's an hour to 2 hours out of my week where I can literally just close my eyes and lose myself. And I literally reached out to him last week and went, you know what? I forgot all of my problems for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So meditation can take many different forms. It's not, doesn't necessarily have to be, you with your legs in uncomfortable positions going
under a waterfall.
Although, give me a waterfall, I might do it.
Yeah.
But for everybody, that's going to be different. It's just a matter of losing your focus for a little bit and concentrating on your feelings.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess the way I mentioned it before, it's sort of that cliche a meditative state. And I've never made it to that point at all. I never even tried to do that, and I wonder what that would feel like. I know thoroughly what it feels like to dive into something and focus entirely on that. I'm getting better at making sure that I'm focusing on what I'm actually doing rather than focusing or having my attention diverted mentally to another path. And one of the things that's helped with to practice the act of focusing on what you're doing. I listen to audiobooks when I go to sleep. And every now and again, I'll think about other stuff, and then I just steer myself right back to focusing on the book, and I do that over and over again. So, all of a sudden, it's like I can pay attention to just what another human is saying to me without having my thoughts drift off or thinking about what I'm going to say. It just actually be in that moment, practicing being in the moment. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like another obvious example of steering yourself. You put change in a change jar whenever you have it. These small little steps, small little efforts that, one day that change jar is full of money. And it came basically without effort, just a tiny little step, a little bit of effort to steer yourself or your efforts in a positive, bountiful direction. Let's see what else I got here. Yeah, I mean we've covered most of what I have down on my end. I mean, maintaining sobriety is easier if you are leading yourself through problems with effort. Just the idea that you have the power to guide yourself, that you can steer yourself, that you can do all of this, that you actually have the power, is important to remember. In every situation, you can step back and look at it and go, hey, should I avoid this situation? Or, you know, hey, I haven't been working on my music at all lately. Maybe I should play for a few minutes. You know, just the extended effort of doing that over and over, small things, build your life the way that you want it to be, one small step at a time, one accomplishable goal at a time.
Word I like is condition. You condition it over time.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Well, it's the same way that you condition your hair. It takes a while, although James wouldn't know anything about that.
Except for this guy right here. I use beard balm. Super shiny.
Sorry, guys.
No.
I had to.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I've come to terms with my situation.
Hey, you know, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look bad on you.
I appreciate that. Another thing I've been doing lately, making an effort to actually read a book for pleasure. You know, and I don't have to read a chapter, but I will at least read 1 to 2 pages, and then I'll just put that bookmark in there, and then, you know, tomorrow I'll give it another shot. It's a very small thing to add into your life.
Okay, so caution warning for anybody watching this on YouTube. I'm a book addict, and it can prevent me from sleeping if I get interested in a book.
Yeah, don't do that, Scott.
But I do.
You know,
it's one of those. It's a healthy bad habit.
Right. Yeah, every now and again, you know, keep yourself up a little bit later. Yeah, you know the limits, your personal limits.
I'm a bookworm. Like, oh, just one more chapter, one more chapter, and suddenly it's like, you know, 1 a.m. and I'm like going, crap.
Yeah. Shoot.
I was a nerd in high school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still a nerd. That's not the book reading kind.
Okay, maybe I'm a geek.
That's all right. We're all special, magical people working on ourselves, working on our lives, making ourselves better so that we can be better for everybody. Have all of this bounty in life, a bountiful life, significance in our lives. It's one day at a time. Got your kitty there?
Yeah, Miriam just hopped up on my lap.
Oh, I see kitty.
Well, you guys have anything else to add as far as leadership for yourself, personal guidance?
Apply pressure.
As he pets the cat.